Hello Stampers! So happy you could join me today. I'm going to show you how to make this fun card with some new products from the Stampin' Up catalogs and actually some online products. It's something very different for me. It's actually basically kind of a sketch. You can use this design with different papers and make it your own. So I hope that you will stay with me all the way till the end to learn how to make this full card. And again, thank you for joining me. My name is Linda Edwards. I am with Crafty Here in Designs, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. I'm going to start with this. I'm using the Framed Florets die. This is the die from the Framed Florets and the Celebrate. This is in the 2023 mini catalog that is currently available through Stampin' Up, and it's got, as you can see, some wonderful sentiments and some wonderful images. But I wanted to do something a little different. I have this paper that you can kind of see the reflections, right, when I shine it in the light. Two different kinds of paper that I really wanted to highlight. That's where this card started from. This is the one, and then this is the other. And they're both available right now through Stampin' Up. This one is the Dry Brushed Metallic Specialty Designer Series paper. And this is with the Calypso Coral color and the gold. I did another video with the ginkgo branches using the blue and copper paper from this same set. And then this one is the Naturally Gilded Designer Series paper. That's the one that's in the back here. That's also gold, which is why I thought to put them together. And this is available online only. It's an online exclusive. It's called the Naturally Gilded Designer Series paper. And I'm going to bring this in so that you can see I have all of the items that I used for this card on this paper. You can take a screenshot of it. I will also have it available on the video description, which will be underneath, this video on YouTube. It'll be in the description on YouTube or Facebook, wherever you're seeing this. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll set that to the side. So your paper, we're going to start with a thick, very vanilla piece of cardstock, and it is 8.5 by 5.5, and it is scored at 4 1/4. So it is a standard size card, and I'm folding it in this direction. So fold it, burnish it, and set it aside. And then next is the Naturally Gilded Designer Series paper, and I've just got a strip which is 5.5 inches long by 1.5 inches wide. Then that Dry Brushed Metallic Specialty Designer Series paper, and specialty just means it's got foil or pearlescent or something special on it. This is not two-sided. Actually, neither is this one. Most of our regular Designer Series paper are two-sided, but this is a specialty item. It is cut 4 3/4 by 2 3/4. And then I've got a piece of the Delicate Desert Designer Series paper. This is the sheet that I'm using, and I'm going to cut a 2 by 2 inch piece from that. And I'm actually going to use the Stylish Shapes dies for that. This paper, I just thought it goes beautifully with these others. So these are all the pieces in the Delicate Desert Designer Series paper. So they've got kind of the oranges and tans on the one side, and then the greens and the grays on the other side. So this paper is really pretty. And I wanted to be able to do something with it, and I just loved this piece here, just kind of like sand dunes. I don't know, but I just was inspired by that. So you can certainly, as you can see, depending on where you cut your square, you're going to get a different image, but they are all gorgeous. So I did go ahead and already cut a piece to save us a little bit of time. So that piece is cut already. It is with the Stylish Shapes die, and it is the 1 2/3 from the smallest, and we're also going to use the largest square of the Stylish Shapes die for this. That's what's going to create our frame. So then a couple more pieces of very vanilla, basically just 6x3 minimum size. I've got these 2 smaller pieces that I'll cut, and I'll show you what to do with that. And then got a piece of scrap. This is just 1/2 inch, and it's 2.5 by 1/2 inch. That's for the sentiment. And then the gold foil paper, you just need a scrap. And as you can see, I've already die cut this. And this is one of the dies in this Framed Florets set. Here it is right here. So it's the Framed Florets die. So this set is really a lot of fun. Not only does it have all those sentiments and flowers, but it's got these wonderful oval dies that go along with it. But I just thought that was really, really pretty and added a nice texture to the card. So I'm going to go ahead and take this away. Oh, I guess I should just tell you, the Adhesive Milky dots, unfortunately, those are no longer available. They were in the spring catalog, but they've sold out. But we have a lot of other gold dots that you can certainly use. And then the trim, the Simply Elegant gold trim, and that comes in gold and silver. So I'm going to move this away, give myself some room to work. So let's go ahead and start with the die cutting. As you can see, I've got this framed die, and we're going to create this piece right here before we go ahead and assemble the card. So I'm going to bring in, I'm going to move all this out of the way. As you can see, I've already die cut that one piece, but I'm going to bring in my cut and emboss machine. Now you can do this with the large or, I'm so sorry, with the large or the small one. I'm going to go ahead and use the large one. And you know, your sandwich, your die cutting sandwich, all is outlined right here on the with the pieces of the machine. So we start with the large, thick die cutting platform, and then the next, I don't even know what you call it, but use this piece with the thin dies. Now, you might have seen, I've got this here. Sometimes every machine's a little different. My, this piece here, this number 2 plate, got kind of mushed. I don't remember now how, but it really got flattened. So all I really need to do is I just put a piece of cardstock in there and it works fine. So you may find after a while that your die cutting machine maybe isn't cutting as well as it used to. Just go ahead and put a shim there, or maybe it's only with certain dies that it doesn't really work well. So just go ahead and put a little shim there. So as you can see, I'm just going to take one of the squares, the larger square, and I'm actually going to cut 2 of these. So I put the first one through, cut that, and set that aside. And then the second one, I'm going to cut, not only am I cutting the large square, but I'm actually also going to cut the smaller square to create my frame. So as you can see, I've got some tape there. And I could either run this through twice, cut out the first one, and then come back and cut the second one. But I'm going to go ahead and line it all up so that I can run it through once. Now, a little tip for you, whenever you're die cutting a straight edge, is you want to tilt it a little bit so it goes through the machine on an angle. What you'll find if you don't tilt it, you can have a really hard time getting that through the machine, and it doesn't always cut cleanly for you. So just a little tip there for you. And as I said, I already cut some of the other pieces to save us a little bit of time, but you would do the same thing. So you can see now I have this frame, and then I have this piece that I won't use on this card, but I could certainly save it for another card. And actually, as you can see, this is kind of fun, like the old Polaroid movie or Polaroid photos. Remember those that used to go through like an instant camera? You could do something fun with that on another card and create maybe, or even in a scrapbook, you know, that would be kind of fun. So, all right, set that aside. That's all my die cutting for now. So then let's go ahead and start with the stamping. So my sentiment is very straightforward. It's just celebrate. I'm going to use Calypso Coral Ink because that is the color that is in this designer series paper. And since it's photopolymer, I do have my thing here is, my mat here is like a mouse, like a, you know, like a mouse pad. So it's got a little cushion in it, so I don't have to add an additional cushion. So there's my Celebrate, and I'm gonna cut that to be about 2.5 inches. And let's see, I think I'll leave that one there. Let's maybe, I'm gonna bring in this one, see how I did it. Maybe about there. So it doesn't have to be perfect because I can adjust it later when I put it all together. Okay, and then the inside of the card, what I'm going to do is I am going to use another stamp from that, the Framed Florets. It's this one here, and I'm going to decorate the inside of my envelope, or the inside of my card, and I will do that as well for the envelope. But I want to put a little paper here, some scrap paper, so that I don't get it on my pad here. So I'm going to just go ahead and do a little stamping. And I'm just, as you can see, I started in the middle, and I'm just turning my stamp so that I get just a little bit of an image there. Now on the card that I made, my sample card, I said this is for a special person on a special day, and you can see I kind of added some more stamping there. But I think I'm going to leave this one, I'm not going to put a sentiment on this one because I think I'm going to use this one as a wedding card. But I'm going to wait until, sorry, I had to get an envelope. I'm going to wait until I get closer to see what I'm going to do with it. But I also wanted to show you for the envelope because I'm going to decorate the envelope the same way. So I do that a lot with my cards. You know, I might wait until I'm getting ready to send it before I put the sentiment in it. Because, you know, sometimes you don't know what the occasion is going to be. So as you can see here, I'm kind of doing the same thing. I've got this scrap paper here so that I don't get ink all over. Look, I made a little, I don't know where that came from. Oh, you know what it was? It was from the corner of my stamps. You do have to be so careful. But I can just go over it. It's fine. There we go. So just decorate the envelope a little bit so that your recipients can have a little, you know, pleasure as they're walking from the mailbox. They know they got something special in the mail. All right, so there's our card. Let's see. So let's go ahead and assemble the front. Get that another good crease because it's not really staying closed. Okay, so here, I'll move that there so you can see it. So the first thing, this is really simple. It's just basically I'm just going to go ahead and put these pieces on here. Now, I have noticed with these foils that when you use liquid glue, sometimes it shows through the paper. So there we go. Sorry, I can't think and talk at the same time. So this particular piece has quite a bit of the Calypso Coral on it, but you know, right here, it's got also a fair amount of that foil. So, and although a lot of it's covered, I think I want to try to use my snail. So, you know, we have two different kinds of Stampin' Seal. That's really the snail, Stampin' Seal Plus and regular Stampin' Seal. And I could use either one. I'm going to go ahead and use the Plus for this one. Again, you know, only because I find that with this foil paper, sometimes the liquid glue is visible between it. Oh my goodness, what did I just do? I pressed too hard and the paper actually came up with it. So don't press too hard with the Stampin' Seal. It's definitely strong stuff. You see how that came up? But I just went back over it and it's fine. And I'm gonna go over it just a little bit there and just put a little bit in the middle. So in case that happens to you, you know what to do. All right, so I'm just kind of centering this one a little bit to the right. I'm centering it kind of equidistant around this way. Okay, and now we're going to assemble that frame piece. So you'll take the one piece that's been cut and the frame. So you have 3 pieces, and this is what you're going to assemble. You're going to put dimensionals around the outside of the frame, and I'm going to use the edges of my dimensionals. So let's see, let's cut that about right there and there. And I'm going to take this end piece off, and I'm just creating a frame. I'm going to do the same thing on this side to about maybe there. Take that piece off. Doesn't want to come off. There we go. There we go. So this card's a little different, you know, kind of not my typical card. I wanted to do something a little bit different, and I'm really kind of happy with the way it turned out. I try to go out of my comfort zone periodically to just kind of create something, and it started with a card sketch. So I had a basic card sketch and had some fun with that, and you could really do some different things depending on, you know, what papers that you have just with this same sketch. It'd be really fun. If you do anything, I'd love to see it. Go ahead and post it on my Facebook page or in the comments, my YouTube page. That would make me very happy to see that you were inspired to do something with this basic card sketch. And of course, you can make it exactly the way it looks too, but sometimes you don't have the same materials. So I always try and inspire you to do something, maybe, you know, I say like to unleash your inner creativity. Use some of these pieces as a stepping off point, as inspiration for your own card making. So as you can see, I'm just kind of hovering over the top of it, just kind of layering that right on top. And it's not a big deal if it's a little bit off. It is a little bit off, but I don't know what I got on there, but let's see if I can got a little bit of something on there. Yeah, just a little bit of adhesive, I think, or something, but it comes right off. This is a great little eraser to have. I think it's called a gum eraser. I just got it at like just a regular art supply or Hobby Lobby or Joann's or, you know, Amazon as well. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead. Let's see, I know this corner is gonna be covered up. So I've got just a little something there that won't come off, but it's gonna be covered up, so no big deal. So now I've got this piece that I had cut earlier. I'm gonna kind of, I don't know why, I feel like I like it that way. And I'm gonna put a little bit of adhesive in the center. And the reason I did it this way was just because I knew, you know, I certainly could have put this on first, but I wanted to allow for the fact that I might maybe not have adhered these two perfectly together, and the liquid glue gives me a little wiggle room. And since these are both cut with the same die, I knew that it would fit size-wise. So I just put that in later. All right, and so now this is just gonna go right on top here, and I am going to just use some of my liquid glue. So whatever adhesive you have, you can use, again, the Stampin' Seal or liquid glue. Now with liquid glue and foil paper, you do have to be careful because it's gonna move on you. So it'll be a little slippery until it actually finally dries. So just be careful when you're putting it on so that it definitely sticks and doesn't slide around on you. Okay, so now all I need to do is adhere this piece, and all I did was I actually just put a little bit of liquid glue, and I just the slightest little bit. You know, the thing with the liquid glue is to not use a lot. So I did it on the tail. I'm gonna do a little bit on the top because I know that's gonna stick, and I'm gonna put a little bit on the center, and that's gonna go as well in the middle. So I'm kind of taking this about like that, and there will be some in the center that'll hold it down. It's just too small to really put a dimensional on it to raise it up, but I think it's fine. You could try like a glue dot. That would give it a little bit of a lift. So that would be an option for you too. But I just went ahead and did the, just adhered it down with liquid glue. All right, so these are the Adhesive Back to Milky dots. Again, I'm sorry they are no longer available. Hopefully you got them before they ran out of stock. We made this card in my card class, and so I am running low on them, but I have enough to make this for you. So I'm going to go ahead and I think I'll put the middle one in first, and then I'm not pressing them down, because if I need to move them, I can do that. Oh, okay. Nope, I think that looks good. So just kind of did 3 in a row there. And now with the gold twine, all I did for this, let's see, so I've got 2 things. Oh, I forgot, I need to put a dot on here as well. You know, let's see, before I put that on there, I want that, yeah, that's gonna be good, because I didn't want it to be the full length. I might shorten that just a little. That 2.5 inch was really not a hard and fast rule. It was just kind of a general guideline as far as the width of that. I'm gonna put some dimensionals on this as well. And I've got this little piece right here. That will also work. And I'm only gonna put it on kind of the right end, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slip the gold twine on and put that on here too. So what I'm doing here is I'm not actually tying a knot. I'm just bringing that around, looping it around twice, and then pulling it off my fingers and kind of squeezing in the middle. And then I'm gonna cut it off about there. All right, so you see what I did there? I just looped it around my fingers. I'm gonna take some glue dots, and I'm going to, let's see, I'm kind of eyeballing. I haven't taken the backing off of this yet, because I'm gonna kind of eyeball. That's where I want that. I want that to go under my sentiment. So I'll start with that one there. I'll leave that there. And you can kind of play around with it if you want it to go bigger or smaller, or like this is probably a little too long, so I'll pull that one out. I think that's a pretty good length. And I'm gonna probably add another glue dot in there, because that's not quite enough to hold everything in place. So I'm gonna go ahead and add one more glue dot, so that when I put this one in, there we go. Okay, and now I'm just gonna put that, oh, see, I need to turn this a little bit more. But you see how you can kind of just play with it a little. That's what I like about the glue dots, is it gives you a little bit of kind of like glue, liquid glue, right? It gives you a little wiggle room, so that, there we go. So that you can put that on there. And then that center is kind of hidden underneath there, and I can come back and trim that off a little bit. There we go. That's it. What do you think? And then I can add my sentiment later. Got that fun envelope, and the card is done. So I hope you like that. And if you see anything that you would need to purchase to add to your collection, you can find me at Crafty Hair and Designs at stampinup.net. Again, my name is Linda Edwards, and if you like what you see, give me a thumbs up or like my videos. If you want to see more and want to be notified of when I put out a new video, please go ahead and follow or like my page, and then you will be notified of future videos. I try to do videos a couple times a month when I have something that I think is interesting and different that you may not have seen before. So thanks for joining me, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.